Welcome to another episode of Mr. Badger Talks Twitter Scum, and I'm here with a brand new guest and a very special friend of mine, the lovely Mr. Jeffrey Copstein. How are you, Jeffrey?
It's George Coppen, I told you this.
What?
Yeah, it's not Jeffrey.
Oh, shit. Oh, hang on. What? Hang on, I've got here Jeffrey Copstick talking about white dwarfs, is that right?
No, I'm George Coppen, part of the whole Harlem Globetrotters.
Harlem Globetrotters?
Is that not?
You play tennis?
Hang on, let me just check my book. Oh, no, it's Dwarf Actor. That's the one.
Dwarf Actor. Well, actually, you say that. I think the Harlem Globetrotters did have a small basketball player, didn't they? Like, what is the correct term that I can call you? Sorry.
What, basketball? I think basketball is the correct term.
I'm not going to call you a basketball.
No, the correct term is dwarf or someone with dwarfism, but just call me George.
Call you George, like out of Rainbow.
Yes, that one. Yes.
Yeah. Can you do a good George impression?
No, I'm famously bad at impressions.
Famously bad. Oh dear. Well, that's going to bring us on to what I think we're going to be talking about, which is you want to talk about white dwarfs, don't you, in the entertainment industry?
No, that's from Warhammer.
What?
No, we're not talking about Warhammer. We're talking about dwarf actors.
Oh shit! I've got a lot of questions. I've done research on this.
Okay. Well, this is awkward for you.
We'll see if any of them are relevant.
Yeah. We'll see if they cross paths, and hopefully we'll get something out of this.
So the first question: what is a white dwarf?
Well, it's me. I'm white, and I'm a dwarf.
Oh, brilliant! So that's that question answered, because it says here that you are a dying star. I thought that was Michael Barrymore. I don't know.
Well, you got half of the sentence right, and I'll let you decide which half you got right.
I've not seen you on stage, so you wanted to talk about the dwarfs in the entertainment industry, then?
Correct. Yes.
So I understand that's a bit of a hot potato at the moment, isn't it?
Well, that's putting it lightly. Yes, kind of it. Basically, how it all blew up last week was basically because of Hugh Grant playing an Oompah Loompah in the new Wonka film, and basically I just want to start.
So an Oompah Loompah is that a dwarf, or because I say I'm not familiar with the terminology.
No, it's a dwarf character, dwarf movie character.
Right, got you.
Please don't go out in the street calling people Oompah Loompas. You will get smacked.
Yeah, try to stick to actual names, not fictional creatures or characters.
Yes.
Or
yeah, like don't call them Yoda or Gremlins. Just try and figure out their name. Please, for the love of God, do that.
That's it. And don't go up to them and go, "Excuse me, Oompah Loompa, what is your name?" That's just gonna make it worse, isn't it?
Well, not if you value your nuts.
You are biting height, aren't you? It's fucking hell. And mine hang low. Height, yes. To be fair, you could probably still toe poke mine. So.
Well, we'll test that theory when we meet in person.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I will be gigging with you soon. That's Mr. Badger's plan. Well, yeah. So you're talking about Hugh Grant playing the part of an Oompah Loompa.
And basically, it's bloody stupid because he's taking roles from us that are traditionally ours. And we can't really get the roles, or we're not being offered the roles that he gets normally offered. So basically, one door is being closed behind us, and they forgot to open the next door. Basically, I'm basically saying, look, dwarfs need the everyday roles because we need to make some money as well. We want this career.
I think that's similar to an argument that Peter Dinklage made, but he sort of put his foot in it, really, didn't he, by saying that dwarfs shouldn't take dwarf roles. He said that they should be applying for things that they normally wouldn't get, which I do agree with. I think it's easier to make, sorry for the term, but a regular-sized actor, it's easier for them via CGI to become a dwarf than it would be to cast, I don't know, the lead of Fast and Furious 37 or whatever the fuck it is now. But yeah, I think the people that are coming out with that argument saying that, or do better, get better roles, don't understand that it's harder.
Yeah, basically Peter Dinklage has said that we don't need these roles, but he can afford to not take those roles. So he's kind of taking the ladder away from us. We're all still at the bottom going, Peter, we need the ladder, mate. Can we have the ladder back, please?
He didn't seem to have that much of an issue when he was playing dwarf roles to make money back in the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I understand that Warwick Davis has had a little bit of a faux pas on that front as well.
Yeah. Again, Warwick is one of those who doesn't need the role. So him and Peter are at the top of the ladder with champagne laughing at us.
Yeah. So, do you do much acting yourself?
Bits and bobs. I've done what I'm most famous for is I appeared in the Netflix film The School for Good and Evil, which came out last year, and I played Cupid, and that's one of my favourite jobs because I was the only dwarf on set, so I got treated as an actor rather than a dwarf extra, which was really nice. I've also appeared in the TV series of Willow alongside my dad, who's another dwarf actor, and more recently I've appeared in season 3 of The Witcher.
I understand that your dad played an Ewok in Star Wars, didn't he?
Correct. My dad is most well known for playing an Ewok in Return of the Jedi.
Bloody hell. So, the Ewoks, did they eat all them stormtroopers?
We're not allowed to say.
Okay. And I'm not talking in a homosexual fashion. Which is okay. If you want to get noshed off or nosh someone off, that's all cool. Mr. Badger is a modern badger.
I don't even want to know what would come up if you typed in Ewoks on a Pornhub.
I think, what is it? Is it Rule 34 or something? They call it that if you can think of it, it already exists. Yeah. So we'll go on to the next question on Mr. Badger's thing, and we'll look back to your special subject. I'll put fucking time into these. So, what does a white dwarf look like? Well, you pretty much just said it's you, isn't it? Yeah. So, not that impressive. So, it says here, who discovered you? It says, who discovered the white dwarf?
Probably the midwife when I was born.
Would it not be the doctor when he first put a finger in there to see if you were okay?
I don't know. I know I was there, but I don't really remember much of it.
I gotta say, you wouldn't really want to think about your mother
being poked.
No. It's bad enough thinking of your dad doing it, let alone a doctor. Welcome to the hard-hitting subjects with Mr. Badger Talks to a Scum. Oh dear. So,
God, I've not done an interview like this, I'll tell you.
I was going to say, I don't think this is BBC standard. But back to the interview. So, you've done some acting yourself. Would you say that roles are drying up for yourself, or is it a case of I'd say more people are being offered the dwarf roles?
Well, this year's been very crap for work because obviously all the strikes going off in America, the actor strike, the writer strike, that's kind of stopped everything over here. The only work I ever get guaranteed every year is Panto, which I absolutely love Panto. And it's always my favourite job of the year. And if I got offered Panto all year round, I'd bite the person's hand off. That'd be my dream job.
You probably wouldn't get the job if you bit their hand off.
Well, no, that's true, yeah. Depends what Panto it was.
Yeah, if it was like a Jack the Ripper Panto.
Which there should be.
Yeah.
That would be brilliant. Yeah. Just Jack the Ripper breaking into song and dance. Who wouldn't watch that?
A musical version of the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Chomping down on digits.
Rolf Harris the musical.
Oh dear. Jesus Christ. You said about the pantomime stuff thing. So I have seen again. There's some dwarf actors that say that panto is demeaning and you should stop doing panto.
Well, again, I know. Yeah, again, I know dwarfs who don't do panto, and when the story all blew up, some dwarfs actually called me selfish for doing panto. I was like, whoa, no, that's a step too far. Like it's my choice to do panto. Like I have full choice of what I do. It's not like, cause I was chatting to a good friend of mine who's a panto director and who directed me last year. And he said it's not like we're going out on the streets grabbing dwarfs and going, you dance, monkey, dance. It's my choice. It's a career I want to do. it's like I have a lot of dwarfs who get hired out as like leprechauns and creatures to do stag dudes and hen dudes, which personally I'm against.
Hindus.
Hen dudes, yeah.
Oh,
so like
God.
there'll be
I'm not. I think there are other religions available.
no hen dudes.
I see.
Yeah, so they do them, which personally I'm against, but I have nothing wrong with them doing it. If they want to do it, that's absolutely fine. You shouldn't be able to tell someone what they can and can't do because of your opinions. Like, no, that's wrong, mate.
Well, I know you said you don't like the word, but there is the M word. Well, we'll say it for the purpose of the podcast. It's called midget wrestling, which again is very, very exploitative. It's mainly in America, isn't it? But But there are people that is their living. That's all they've ever known. That's all they're gonna do. So it's like, do you take that away from them?
No, if they enjoy it, let them do it. It's not harming you. Yeah, there'll be some idiots, and that like with the Peter Dinklage stuff, there'll be some idiots who think because that's the way one dwarf acts and one dwarf thinks. That's how we all think and act. Just like going back to Peter Dinklage, my friend saw some comments on my posts. Like on the bigger post with BBC News going, well, I thought Peter Dinklage said they didn't need these roles. Well, yeah, he did, but he doesn't speak for all of us. We're not all one big person. We don't all share the same mind. We're not aliens, you fucking idiot.
Well, it's the same as anything, isn't it? If you've got a millionaire going like, why don't you all just buy a load of houses and live off the rent? It's like, well, because we fucking can't, because we're not millionaires. It doesn't really. Height's got nothing to do with it. It's your status in life and what you can afford.
Exactly, yeah, and what you enjoy doing.
So that's it as well. You enjoy doing these roles too.
Yeah, and so like especially like when me and my dad did the TV series of Willow, it was just after lockdown. There was about 30, 40 of us, and obviously the first time we'd seen each other in like 2 or 3 years, so it was absolutely brilliant to catch up, and obviously more jobs to do, a bit like comedy really. The more you do, the more you meet people. So you go to one gig or one job and there's everyone there and it's great to have a catch up with them.
Lovely. So but with that then, so you're saying about like people taking away roles. I have seen recently that quite an insulting one was the new Snow White film where they took away the roles and said it was never called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which it fucking was. Yeah, and so they've renamed it Snow White, and if it wasn't Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, why did they cast one token dwarf as one of the non-dwarves?
The thing with Snow White, like I've said to a few people, I'm not going to make my official comment until I see a trailer, but everyone's jumped on the bandwagon with that leaked photo and said, oh, it's the Seven Dwarfs, they're getting rid of them. But no one stopped to count the people, which I've counted the people in the photograph. There's 9 people in that photo. So you're going, well, how the bloody hell are these 7 dwarfs then if there's 9 people? Well, it's like, is there 7 dwarfs and 2 spares?
Well, I think that was their saying, was that it never said 7 dwarfs. And if you go back to the original, like German fairy tale, like the folk story, it was Snow White and the 7 dwarfs. So I think just because Disney made a cartoon about it, they don't own the original story.
No. It's a bit like with the dwarf names as well. In the original book, they were never named. It's when Disney did their version of it, they named them all and copyrighted names. So whenever you see a Snow White panto, all the 7 dwarfs will have brand new names or altered names. And people are like, oh, okay, yeah, so every Snow White up and down the country at Christmas, all the dwarfs will be called something completely different. And it's quite nice, but it gives directors and writers a chance to create brand new dwarfs. Like, for example, when I did Lichfield panto last year, I played a dwarf called Striker, who is this football mad hooligan dwarf and kept doing keepy uppies. You know, yeah.
Do you get ones called like touchy, gropey, molesty? Not yet. I can see you're keen to take that role, haven't you?
That'll be in the adult panto.
Yeah, that's it. That's the Jim Davidson one that doesn't get made anymore. Right, we'll dip back into Mr. Badger's questions.
Oh no!
There we go. Oh fuck! Right, so basically, it says, "Is there an upper limit to the mass of a white dwarf? So, how fat can you get?"
I don't know. I've never tested that theory, but I will let you know.
Yeah, it's is that like after Christmas? You'll just weigh yourself, just before the big shit that you do on Boxing Day.
Well, I think dwarfs are the only fit people at Christmas, because obviously because of the panto, we're doing 2 or 3 shows a day and plus warm-ups in the morning. So we're the ones losing all the weight at Christmas.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
That was something I thought about as well. It was like with dwarfs and everything. Like, what is it that when they say dwarfs should be doing regular roles? What is it that's holding you back from, as you say, just doing pantos or roles in films that are specially made for dwarfs? What is it, as a small person, you say, I can't do it because of this?
Casting director.
So that's it. It's mainly just the people that are making these decisions to take the roles away from you aren't willing to give you chances in other roles.
No, because like when I've said to people, I said if people think of dwarf actors, they think of Peter Dinklage and Warwick Davis, and there's a heck of a lot more of us out there than just two people.
Yeah.
People go, oh yeah, I haven't thought of it that way. So we just need one person, one casting director to go, right, I'm going to cast you, George, in the BBC soap. Your character's going to have this storyline. It's got nothing to do with him being a dwarf. He's just going to run the local chippy, and he's going to be having a threesome with the two women that run the pub. Something like that.
Yeah.
And I know, and I think there's a dwarf in Doctors and dwarf in Hollyoaks, but I don't watch those shows. So I don't know what storylines they've been given. We just need one person to go, I believe in you lot. You can do this drama. You can do that show.
Yeah, well, and you say the very people that are taking the roles away and trying to say that you shouldn't need to be doing those aren't giving you other chances. They aren't giving you other positions to go for.
Yeah, because they're thinking for us. They're going, oh, dwarfs get offended at this. Well, have you asked us?
That's the main thing. I think a breaking character a bit here. I am obviously quite an offensive comedian. But I never actually set out to offend anybody, and I am mortified if I do offend people. So if anybody is upset, the first thing I'll do is I'll go over and ask them if they're okay. 9 times out of 10, the people that I'm making the jokes about love it. They think it's bloody hilarious because of the fact that they're now excluded from comedy. Like, you're not allowed to make jokes about this. But I will say, with I think like people like yourself, dwarfs, I think it is one of the last taboos that not only can you make offensive jokes about, but you can go too far without society saying you've gone too far.
Yes, we are the last group of people you can publicly take the piss out of. Like, you can't do on telly, you can't do a joke about a black guy or a gay guy or a fat guy or a woman without getting absolute uproar about it and being cancelled. Yet do a joke about a dwarf and no one bats an eyelid. It's like, why? We're the exact same with all those people. So what makes us different from them?
Well, like you said about being a chip shop owner who's having a threesome with 2 women, like, it sounds harsh, but dwarfs are never seen as like the sexy character, are they? They're always seen as a comedy sort of throwaway. Oh, look, here he is. We've dressed him up as a child for a bit of fun, that sort of thing.
Well, that should be another dwarf in the adult panto, gropey and sexy.
That's it. Oh dear. So, one thing, this is wildly off topic as well. You mentioned that you, off camera, you mentioned that your parents are both short actors, aren't they? Was your mother an actor, or is she just?
No, she's doing a few bits and bobs, like mainly pantos, just because she's really good friends with my agent, who's a dwarf agency. So it's like if she needs someone last minute, she'll help out. But it's mainly my dad and I.
Yeah, but would you say then in the terms of romance, you're pretty much limited there as well? Like, do people give you a fair shake of the stick, so to speak? Do they shake their stick at you, George? Oh, we want to know.
Not really, but I'm not one of those people that, I don't know if it's because of being a dwarf or is it just because of being me, that can go out and openly flirt with women. Like, I've got a really good friend of mine who uses his height to his advantage and then some with women.
What, like, looks under the skirts?
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, he's a Tinder addict. I've lived with him for a few panto seasons, and he's been out like every other night on a Tinder date. It's like, bloody hell, mate. Jeez.
Well, see, when you were talking about basketball before, I say, like, number one, the Harlem Globetrotters did have like a dwarf player who played. I can't remember.
Okay.
His name, but and again, going back into the real life of Mr. Badger, I did used to actually play basketball at quite a high level, and there was a dwarf player that I played with. He was 4'7". He was a decent lad, but he went on the Undateables, and he kept it all a secret. And when we spoke to him about it, he said it is like quite an issue for him, because he said you'll get women that'll almost treat you as like a curiosity, but it
Yes.
never wants to go any further. Like they just want to meet up with you and go, yeah, there we go, and then that's it. They're just not interested in you sexually.
Cross it off the bucket list.
Yeah.
Or the one I get quite often, which I think they mean it nice, but it just comes up really creepy. They go, "Oh, can I fit you in my handbag?" No, fuck off.
Just go, but you can get 6 of me in your minge, you fucking slag.
Yeah. That's why I'm called Bashful.
Okay, now. Right, so we did veer off slightly there to the dating terms. We better bring it back with another Mr. Badger researched question. Oh, fuck.
There we go.
Right, this one could be racist. What is the difference between a white dwarf and a brown dwarf?
Next question.
Well, apparently a brown dwarf is much cooler. Is what it says here. It says a white dwarf is incredibly hot, but a brown dwarf is cooler. And the only thing is, though, after you've gone brown, you explode. Apparently, it turns into a black. It says you become a black hole. So,
what the fuck's this interview? I love it.
Genuinely, it says you can be a white dwarf, a yellow dwarf, a red dwarf, or a brown dwarf, and it says it's all through the cooling stages. Brown is the coolest, and then it becomes a black hole. It explodes or implodes and becomes a black hole.
If I become a red dwarf, do I just become Craig Charles?
There you go. Well, actually, with the old TV series Red Dwarf, I can't remember any dwarf actors on it.
No, neither can I, and I love that show.
Yeah, the bastards. They've taken more roles. I was thinking as well. I know, as you say, the two big things that have come out at the moment are Hugh Grant playing the Oompah Loompah and Snow White removing the dwarfs, as it were. Back in the films of the Hobbit and things like that, when they actually had dwarf characters, I know quite a few of the characters were played by non-dwarf actors, but nothing was really said back then. So is it just now with the traditional dwarf roles that people are starting to have a bit of a fight back?
I don't know why nothing was said back then. Cause I only discovered it about a year or two ago. Cause one of my best mates loves The Hobbit, and she was watching it while I was around hers. And then James Nesbitt popped up, and he went, "I'm a dwarf." I went, "No, you're not. You're James Nesbitt. You're not a fucking dwarf." You know, I've seen you in other stuff. I know how tall you are, and I don't know why. And obviously, because it came out way before I started, it's like, oh, well, I've already done that now. I can't really make a point about that now. It's been and gone. Well, so I don't know why no one said anything.
I think it was Amazon have just done that TV series. I don't know what it's called. Something to do with The Hobbit.
Yeah.
I know it had Lenny Henry in it, who famously is quite tall. I think he's about 6'5", playing what I don't think it's a dwarf. I think they're called halflings or something. But it's it's still a role for somebody under the height of 5 foot. I think they get to fucking Lenny Henry. And more people were outraged with the fact that he was black. It's like, black short people. They do exist.
How dare you?
I'm fairly confident I saw one in Bad Santa. I know it wasn't CGI. Fucking hell. Okay, so what would you hope then for your future? How can you see it going? But what would you wish to happen?
Well, I just wish for like some casting agency or casting director to see in one of the interviews I've done. I've gone, George is right, and to get in touch with me and get in touch with my agent and go, can we get George onto this film set? We want him just to be this normal character. Like, for example, something my dad's done lately is an ITV drama called A Spy Amongst Friends. And he has no lines in it. He's just an extra in a cafe. That's all he does. The main character walks past and he's on a table having a cup of tea in just a cafe. It's like, that's great.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, that's all he does. Not a dwarf character, not a goblin, not a gnome, not an elf, you know. He's just having a cup of tea in a cafe. And it's like, why can't more people go, yeah, okay, let's just get some dwarfs in. Because in everyday life, we do stuff, you know, we go to the pub, we go shopping, we get our hair cut, we buy some clothes, you know, we do the stuff you do. Maybe not that you do, personally, but we do stuff that people are listening to this do, you know, so why can't we do that on screen?
I suppose the other thing is as well, it would obviously be a bit patronising and a bit piss-takey if it showed a pub scene and everybody in the pub was a dwarf. But you do exist. You're in everyday life. There is a chance we're going to meet a dwarf.
I mean, it would also take the piss if they showed us in a pub trying to get served, because that is absolutely the worst thing. Because bars are incredibly high. Trying to get served in a bar, especially when it's crowded, is fucking impossible. I'm like, hello, hello, and you see the woman's face going, I just heard, did someone call me? I just heard something. Then she'll greet the person behind me, take his order. I'm like, I'm down here, dickhead.
Okay. It's a good job they're not short-sighted, though. I'll ask you for ID as well. Come on, whippersnapper. Not you. Get your dad to get you a pint.
That is the only group of people that actually love us is security guards and bouncers, because they don't ID us. The amount of times I've gone into town, gone into a pub, and one of my other best mates is a dwarf. Not an actor, but he's a dwarf, and we just walk straight in, and then we've got to wait a few minutes for the other guys to get ID'd. And they're like, did you not get ID'd? He's like, no.
Thinking back to my earlier thing about saying walking into a pub and everybody in the cast is a dwarf. Do you know roughly how many people are dwarfs? Is it 1 in 50, 1 in 100?
I don't know the full odds, but it's like anyone. People don't realize anyone can have a dwarf baby. If two average height people, and I'm gonna go deep in this bit. If two average height people have a kid, it's like 1 in 100,000 chance of it being a dwarf. I may be completely off for those odds. If a dwarf and an average height person have a baby, it's 50-50. But if two dwarfs have a baby, this is where it gets complicated. There's a one, because it's genetics, you see. So there's a 1 in 3 chance it will take one gene and it will be a dwarf. 1 in 3 chance it will take neither gene and be average height. Or 1 in 3 chance it takes both genes. That's called double dose. And basically, no baby survives double dose. Because how to explain it simply is, imagine a size 11 lungs in a size 7 body. It just becomes all too cramped. And it's like, I know a lot of people who have suffered 2 or 3 double dose births. It's like, it's heartbreaking, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try and bring brevity after that quote, which is when you mentioned about that 2 dwarfs can have a regular-sized baby.
Yes.
Now, this is quite an obtuse question to ask. Are vaginas the same? Or no, literally, would they require an operation?
I think obviously it depends on the size of the baby, but I think it would most likely be an operation to yank the baby out. But it's like there's one downside. Like, people always ask me what would I want, like have, dwarf or average height, and I've always said dwarf, because average height kids will be a nightmare to tell off. You're like, go to your room. No, I can't do anything now. You're taller than me.
As you say, kick him in the balls. Well, not kick him in the balls, bite him in the balls. That'd be the thing. Right.
I'm allowed to do it. I'm his father.
Have you had many more? Never mind ball biting incidents. Have you had many more offers of work since you've come? Because it's been quite public now. It's made quite a few papers, hasn't it?
Just a bit. It's kind of exploded way beyond my imagination and my parents' imagination, because basically I put
like a black hole.
Yes, exactly. Hey, well done. It's basically I put the post out on Facebook, and then I know some people who work at Radio Derby near me, and they said, "Oh, can we do an interview?" I went, yeah, of course, because I know you guys. Expecting it, maybe didn't expect anything from it, and then they said, "Oh, the main BBC News have got in contact, and can they do an article online?" I went, "Okay, yeah, that'd be good." And then from there it exploded. Everyone saw the article on BBC News and took it, and obviously thankfully they all kept my main points about being offered everyday roles. It's like when I Google my name, it's like, this website's done it, that website's done it. It's like, Jesus Christ, what the hell is going on?
Have you had any offers of work off the back of that, or anybody saying
yet.
We need
Not
to
yet.
chat to you? No.
No, but I think that's mainly because of the strikes in America. There's no productions going off at the minute.
Yeah.
No filming happening. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And I'd like to think if filming was happening, stuff was being filmed, people might have got in contact. But hopefully, once it all starts again, get some offers.
That's it. It's a case of you've got to keep on banging on about it, as it were. Or it'll just get brushed under the carpet.
Yeah.
And again, that's more opportunities taken away from people that have very little opportunities in the first place.
Yeah.
Like me with school teaching, they won't let me do it.
Why not?
I don't know.
That's weird.
One little kid start. Well, all right, 16 kids start a rumour. Next thing you know,
Only 16. That's nothing.
Well, at the local comprehensive, yeah.
Because
And to be fair, I'm not even a teacher. I just used to show. I used to make balloon animals, outside the school gates. And they
were
said,
you the caretaker?
yeah. But they said that one of them, it was me cock and balls. I was trying to make a dog, but I just forgot to do the front legs, so it just
We've all
looked.
been there.
Yeah, I know. It's not fair that Mr. Badger gets pinned down like this. Well, this has been an informative chat, George. I hope genuinely that work does pick up for you. But we're going to leave on one last Mr. Badger question, a very, very important
Here we go.
one that I've researched online. It says, how old can a white dwarf become?
Very good. I think last time I checked, this is give or take a few years, 557.
Incorrect. It says 3 billion years is the oldest white dwarf, which the one I could find was Kenny Baker at 88. But sadly, he's passed away now. He's not with us. But I was researching about the oldest dwarfs, and the quote that came up, it said, oldest white dwarf star catches an amateur's eye, and its dusty ring leaves boffins baffled. So I don't know what Kenny Baker did just before he died, but he should have worn fresh underpants. No, but it's been lovely, Nat and George. Is there anything you want to say? Like anything you want to plug before we go?
Yeah, if you want to find me online, my Instagram is Coppen, Coppen 1412, or you can find me on Facebook. Just search George Coppen, actor and comedian.
Ah, lovely. There we go. And I say, hopefully, we'll see you on some more stuff on Netflix and that soon.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, be nice.
Ah, there we go. Well, let's say goodbye to the boys and girls and give them a lot of love. Goodbye, boys and girls.
Bye-bye, boys and girls. Sleep tight.
Ah, they won't. Not with Mr. Badger around. So that's an end of another Mr. Badger podcast. Thank you all for listening. If you have enjoyed it, please do share it with your friends and maybe give it a review or a like wherever you found it, whether that's on YouTube or one of the podcast services like, what was it, Spotty Nose or Apple Podcast. Anyway, wherever you found it, please do share it, like it and review it. And also, we are going to have a Discord coming out soon, so all you dirty bastards can meet in the same place and chat with each other and maybe give Mr. Badger some questions to ask future guests. So, please do keep listening and please do keep spreading the word. Thank you very much. Goodbye.